Hey there, this is James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems and BikeJames.com. Today I want to share some simple exercises that you can do to help you build a better pedal stroke through strength training. Now, first of all, we need to know, what does a good, powerful, efficient pedal stroke look like? There's been some research recently that's called the old advice to spin circles. Basically, you want to be pulling through the top, keeping even pressure on the pedals. You know, the whole spin circles advice is actually starting to call that into question. Some studies have actually shown that the most powerful, efficient pedal stroke is actually to drive forcefully with the lead leg and simply get the trail leg out of the way so that it doesn't interfere with that forceful downstroke. And so there's actually several coaches in professional cycling that are starting to teach this method to people, including Dr. Andrew Kogan, who's an expert in power training for road cycling, and Darcy Norman, who works for Athletes Performance and is a strength and conditioning coach for the T-Mobile road cycling team. These are just two of the experts in cycling that I've talked to who also share this view that we may have been teaching people how to pedal the wrong way. And so we need to relook at what we want to get out of our pedal stroke. So it basically boils down to the difference between mechanical efficiency and gross efficiency. And without getting too technical here, when you're spinning circles, it is more mechanically efficient. But as I'm going to show you here in a second, that's not how our body is designed to operate. And so when you ask our legs to operate in a way that's not how it normally would, it's not able to do so as efficiently. So even though it's more mechanically efficient, what they found is that the gross efficiency is actually decreased by having someone pull through the top or try to spin circles. And so people aren't moving as efficiently, they're not using their energy as efficiently, because that's not a natural movement for our lower body. So what we need to do is understand, what does good lower body movement look like, and then how can we use that and use strength training exercises to strengthen that, and then we can apply that to the bike. So basically what we're looking to do is create a powerful extension with the hip. And we also want to be able to stabilize the knee with the hamstring. At the downstroke of your pedal stroke, what you want to be doing is using the hamstring and the quad to co-contract and stabilize the knee, and using the hip joint to extend back. So instead of curling the leg, you want to extend the hip. So that's the better way, the more powerful, more efficient way to power your pedal stroke, is to drive forcefully with the lead leg and then use the hip to drive through the bottom of the stroke, and then switch and the other leg goes. So now that we know that, what are some exercises that we can do to strengthen that? So I'm going to show you 3 exercises that work real well for helping to develop this movement pattern that you need on the bike to develop this better pedal stroke. So the first one is a single leg RDL, which is short for Romanian deadlift. And in a nutshell, you're going to stand on one leg, and you don't have to lock the knee out. You can have a slight bend to the knee, but you don't want to bend the knee anymore once you start moving. What you're going to do is think about pushing the butt back behind your heels and let your chest come down to the ground. And when you're pushing the butt back and you're looking to feel the tension right here in the hips, and when you start to feel the tension here, stop coming down. If you come down any further, you're going to start rounding at the lower back. So as soon as you feel the tension here, you're going to reverse the movement by driving the heel into the ground and getting tall and thin at the top. So push the butt back, let the chest come down, then you're going to dent the ground with your heel and look to get tall and thin. You're trying to get the top of your head as close to the ceiling as you can at the top. So that's a single leg RDL. You can add load to that by holding a kettlebell or a dumbbell. You can start by holding it with both hands, which helps keep things balanced. And then you can get an extra little extra core movement here, or core work, by holding it opposite of the working leg. So if I got my right leg down, I hold this in my left hand, and now my torso has to resist rotation. So that's a way to advance that exercise. But that exercise is great because that is teaching your leg how to stabilize at the knee joint while creating movement at the hip joint, which is something a lot of riders struggle with. And so that'll really help with that. The next exercise I want to show you is a rear foot elevated split squat. It's also known as a Bulgarian split squat. So for this one, you're going to need a bench or a chair, and you're going to get your rear foot up on that bench or chair, hop out a little bit. Now what you want to do is think about trying to keep your knee over your ankle. You want to minimize how much your knee pushes forward. So think about folding at your hip joint. Really emphasize folding here as you come down to the bottom, and then same cues as the single leg RDL to come up. Dent the ground with your heel, get tall and thin at the top. So pulling yourself down, pulling down at the hip, drive through the heel, get yourself tall and thin. You can hold weight with this one. You can start by holding a dumbbell or kettlebell in front of you in the goblet position. And you can also hold opposite, holding in the rack position to make it a little more difficult. So that's the rear foot elevated split squat. And that one's really great because what it's doing is teaching you how to really, use that lead leg. That trail leg, you can use it for a little bit of balance, but it's not a whole lot of use. So you have to really learn how to balance and drive with the lead leg while minimizing the involvement of the trail leg, which again, very closely mimics what you're looking to do on the bike with that powerful extension of the lead leg and just the, it's not totally passive, but you're basically just looking to get that trail leg, minimize its involvement. You don't want it interfering with that downstroke. So great exercise for that. And then finally, I'm going to show you a reverse lunge with a high knee. And so this is a great exercise that ties the hips together and has you move a little similar to what you would do on the bike. So for this, you'll get set. You're going to step back into a reverse lunge. And when you come to the top, you're going to raise your knee up. You want to get this knee up to at least 90 degrees, if not a little bit higher. And then step back and step up. So try not to reset in the middle. Like once you start, you just want to touch at the back and then work from that position there. So this exercise is again teaching you how to extend with the lead leg. Use that leg mainly for balance. You're stepping back into that split stance position, and then as you're driving out of that, you're bringing the other leg up. So it's mimicking what you want to do, where you're driving mostly with this leg, but there is some return, some pull. It's not like you don't want this doing any work. So this is getting that hip flexor involved and teaching you how to flex at this hip while powerfully extending with this leg, which again really closely mimics what you're looking to accomplish on the bike with a good, efficient, powerful pedal stroke. So those are some exercises. Hopefully you guys have found this informative and giving you something to think about, maybe rethink how you're pedaling on the bike. And you'll find that if you apply this technique, this powerful downstroke, and not really worrying about the trail leg too much, you'll find you'll instantly have more power, and it's not as tough as you think it is. It's kind of funny. We're told not to mash, and then we find out that a controlled form of mashing is actually one of the better ways to pedal. So who'd have thunk it? But anyways, a little side bonus for you is this is real similar to how you want to run as well. So these exercises will also help your running if you happen to do trail running or anything like that. So these exercises are really good for just teaching you good lower body locomotion. So anyways, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this tip. Once again, it's been James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems. You can check me out on the web at bikejames.com, and I'll talk to you guys in my next tip.